Well, I hope you're doing well. And to get ready for our next session together, get ready for your voyage into the past life, I want to remind you of a couple of things. One is the importance just to have fun with this, not to be heavy with this. Go at it as an experiment, go at it as a game, if you will. And the second thing to say to you is to be willing to accept whatever comes up. And that happens to include whether very little comes up, or if something comes up that is outrageous. And to remind you again that most everybody who does this work has the experience, at least at first, of thinking they're making it up. So the danger in this, the way you could have this not work the way you'd like it to work, would be by trying or efforting or resisting. So if we're doing this and you find yourself experiencing something and you say, well, that can't be it, maybe I'm just remembering a television show that I saw. The coaching is to ignore that. Ignore that editorializing and just experience whatever you're experiencing. The way you do this is kind of like the creative process in general. You follow tendrils, you follow little breadcrumbs of feelings, of thoughts, of impulses, of colors, even light, uh, or even words or memories. You follow those until suddenly something takes over and the experience begins to drive itself. So if you find yourself making things up or thinking you're making things up, that's fine. Trust that even if you do have some conscious intervention, even if there is a degree to which you're shaping what you experience, to trust and believe and accept that and own that whatever you're experiencing is in the direction of what your soul needs to experience and remember. The other thing is to keep in mind over this week your intention. What is your intention for this past life exploration? Is it to gain greater clarity about a situation in your life? Maybe about a person in your life? Are you attempting to bring back some talent or skill or resource? Or do you just have the feeling of wanting to validate that you've been here before and therefore will be here again? The other thing you're going to need to do in our next session is to go into a neutral place. By that I mean to say a place without expectations. You might even be well advised at this point now, thinking about our next time together, of accepting, what if I get nothing? Paradoxically, that will clear your deck by lowering your expectations and your bar to go into this without expectations. But I would say trusting that your soul will gather the information it needs. Therefore, that this week between our initial conversation and your first past life voyage is a week of transformation and change. To accept that this week your subconscious mind is talking to you, giving you hints, giving you guidance. That if you do have guides or angels watching over you, or deity itself, this is the time when these forces, these positive forces, can communicate to you during your sleep. But for right now, to get a little practice, make sure you're comfortable. No one's going to be bothering you for the next minutes, and I'm going to ask you to get a little taste of what hypnosis and our next session can feel like. Just another little taste. So what I'd like you to do now is a little experiment with me to induce a state of trance. It's an old way of doing hypnosis. What I'd like you to do is look in the center of the spiral. And as you look in the center of the spiral, I am going to count from 10 down to 0. The request is to resist the temptation to close your eyes until I reach 0. Very simple. Number 10. As you do this, certain things will occur predictably. you'll notice that your eyes really want to close. 9. In fact, you'll notice that every fiber of your being just wants to close your eyes and get on with it for a little rest. 8. But the request is to resist that temptation until I reach 0. 7. You know, the truth of the matter is there are only 2 types of people who can't be hypnotized by somebody. One type is somebody who's a paranoid schizophrenic, somebody who believes everybody's out to get them. And I know you're not one of those. Not even close, right? You know this is your process for your own personal exploration. The other type are people who are developmentally challenged, who can't follow simple instructions. 6 and 5. And you're not one of those. So as you resist the temptation to close your eyes, paradoxically, you're allowing yourself to accept suggestions about new ways to think, act, and feel. 5 and 4. You may notice that if your eyes happen to close, they want to stay closed. And that's okay. Because in a moment, when we reach 0, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. At that point, you'll find your eyes are likely so tired, they don't want to open. 3. That you might manage your eyebrows, but your eyelids themselves are just too relaxed to open. 1. Which allows you to go into your own inner place. Just as when we do hypnosis, for the actual past life journey, you'll be able to enter a deep, deep sleep when I say the expression, relax deeply now, and sleep deeply now. 1 and 0, and now close your eyes. And as you do, allow the day to disappear. You remember there's only one instruction in hypnosis, and that is simply to forget thoughts as they occur, to let them go, at least at first. So as you find yourself now becoming more relaxed with every breath, I'd like you to start by flexing your storytelling muscle. Imagine, if you would, inside your psyche somewhere, there's a little box, like a little treasure chest. And this little treasure chest is your ability to tell stories, your ability to voyage, to experience, an imagination, to go places, and do things, see things. It's a spiritual attribute you have. This little box inside you, in your psyche. Well, imagine that we have the key today. The key is willingness. Willingness to open your imagination. What if you had a past life experience? That question opens the box. What if you have one in the future? What if you're a spirit having a physical experience? That you've been a voyager in different planes of reality, in different bodies? That who you are is magnificent. So taking on the count of 3, this little key, 3, put it in the lock, 2, 1, and click. And allow that treasure chest to open. Your natural ability to do this. The ability you had as a child. When it's possible you remembered past lives as a child. But it's also possible you're able to live in imagination. Independent of expectation. Independent of what's going on in the world. This week, this part of you gets stronger and stronger. And I'm not going to say specifically that your soul calls for it. You're the expert on your soul. But ask yourself, what's next for you in this life of yours? What do you need to do? How do you need to be? To be who you're meant to be? How? What do you need to know? To let go? What do you need to let go? Of situations, considerations, restrictions, reservations, resentments, limitations, self-imposed. What do you need to know to let go of that? So the imagination box opened, your imagination activated fully, knowing that every day that goes by this week until the actual voyage, until the next session, this box, this imagination is growing, growing, growing. What you conceive, you can achieve as well. That you go into the session with a head of steam, knowing that whatever happens or doesn't during the session, whatever happens or doesn't during the next session, whatever happens or doesn't, you emerge from it stronger, with greater clarity of mind. And if thoughts come to you, then in a dramatic way, that's fine. Thoughts come to you, experience when we do the voyage in a dramatic way, that's fine. If they come slowly, this week in dreams, instincts, intuitions, and afterwards as dreams, instincts, intuitions, that's fine too. But you will learn and you will name the experience, and you will say, this happened, and as a result of this, I moved to a different place. Like a gigantic cosmic board game, where your piece moves forward, not just 1 or 2 places, but 12, like you've rolled double sixes. A quantum leap in development, quantum leap in where you think, act, and feel, to be the person you want to be, whole, complete. A man or a woman or a person of dignity, power, and grace. To practice now, I'd like you to imagine, and it will seem as if you're making it up. On the count of 5, I'd like you to imagine a time from your childhood, a time related to school, elementary school, that was a good time, not a bad time. On the count of 5, just picture it. 5, 4. You're back in elementary school. 3, 2, 1. And you're having an experience. Here you are, right there. Notice what comes up first. If you have a tendency to editorialize, notice it. Let yourself be where you are. Trust this memory is real. It's your memory. Now begin to look around in this memory. See if you can see who's with you, what sounds there are. Is it quiet or noisy? Are you indoors or out? Notice how your body feels. You're in the body of an elementary school version of you. Notice it feels different. Look down at your shoes and see what you're wearing. Even if it doesn't make sense, accept it. See what you're wearing in the rest of your body. Even if it doesn't make sense, accept it. See how you feel, your emotions. Whatever it is, accept it. And when we actually do the session, your recollection of an earlier experience related to your intention of this week will be revealed as clearly as this. You don't question the memory. You just let it be there. And every time you listen to this recording, you find yourself more relaxed and more at peace, more open-minded, more willing to accept whatever comes up as it is, or not come up. Training yourself to follow the tendrils, the wisps of impulse, picture, thought, recollection, and allow it to become full. You might talk to that vision of you when you were in grade school, elementary school, and you might say to it, from your vantage point in the future, which is of course the present now, this now, that being the other now, then, you might say to yourself, then, that you love you. I love you. Why not try it? I honor you. Me when I was young, when I am young, exists simultaneous with me as an old person. All times are one. And by exercising this ability of recollection, you'll find automatically when I say the expression, relax deeply now, sleep deeply now. Your storytelling imagination box is open, but also there's another little box inside of you, a magnet that brings your soul precisely where it needs to be to grow. Follow it. Trust it. And when we do the actual past life voyage, it's as simple as that. Enter with an open mind. Be willing to accept whatever comes up, even if it seems outrageous. In past life work, your gender may change, certainly your race, your age, even your species. Whatever is there, literally, if you have the experience of having a past life experience together, and you imagine that you're a pebble on a beach, well, just be the pebble on the beach. Your analytical mind will say, no, 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 I should be a person, whatever. No, whatever you experience, and you'll see within that, maybe there's a message there. Maybe a pebble on a beach meant something that will become dramatically and empoweringly clear afterwards. You get the idea. Accept whatever is there. Go into it with an open mind, and you will be fine. So, see you next time.